hang on while you guys are getting in here. It's Wellness Wednesday, Wealth Building Wednesday. Let's see if I can do this without getting all confused by looking at myself on camera. Hello there. Welcome as you come in. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Show me some love. And let me get my mic on. Whoops. Let's see. There we go. And we're going to be talking about, this is our daily dose of vitamin D3. So we're talking about everything health and wealth on these days, wellness, right? Your overall well-being. And I want to talk about detoxing the body for 31 days or 30 days on average, but I did it for 31, top of the year, January for 2025. I highly recommend. So this is going to be short and sweet and to the point. So as you come on, you catch the replay, but let me know when you get here and what your greatest takeaways were. I have my ginger shot, okay? And I have my green detox juice filled with yummy goodness. This is always so strong. My son can just swallow this in one chuck and I cannot. It burns my throat because ginger's strong. Ooh, it's strong, but it's really good for you. Ooh, if I don't want to start coughing, I probably shouldn't do this on live. It's strong. It's a mix of ginger and lemon. So, all right, I want to talk really quickly about my 31-day detox. The benefits of a detox, what I took away from it. So I started this whole detox journey about 3 years ago, and I was at the time doing it just once a year, and then last year was the first time I decided to do twice a year, so every 6 months, and now this year for the first time I'm doing it quarterly. So I had to get used to it. So I do two types of detox, right? I do more or less a cleanse where I'm eating, pretty much raw and alkaline foods, right? So I'm vegan, by the way, just in case you weren't aware. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here and you've been rocking with me for a minute, welcome back. So I was a pescatarian for the last 10 years. And in 2023, June of 2023, I decided to go vegan because I was mostly following a vegetarian diet anyway. I'm really health conscious. I'm a nurse, I'm an RN, health and wellness educator, so I walk the talk, okay? And so for me, I decided to go vegan. It was a very easy transition. And again, I started that back in June. And so I absolutely love it because it's so healthy for the body to just rid yourself of the toxins that have accumulated in the body, even in the mind and the brain. It restores gut health, good gut health. It gets rid of all of the inflammation in your body, or a good majority of it. And so when I first started off, I tried it for maybe 14 days, where I was doing Dr. Bobby Price's detox, okay? He has herbal teas and they're very, very bitter. They're shocking to the taste buds. So when I first tried it, I was thinking to myself, I know I saw the reviews. Everybody was saying, even though it's very effective, it's a really gross taste. I wouldn't say gross. It smells good, but it just tastes. It takes a minute for your taste buds to really get adjusted to it because we're so used to eating foods that are sour and sweet, right? Or even foods that are bland but not bitter. So when that hit my taste buds for the first time, my taste buds were in shock. And I thought, what the heck am I doing? Am I going to be able to finish this detox? Because the reality is I bought a 30-day or 28-day supply, but I was doing the 30-day challenge with him and the other group of people. And I was thinking, it was hard for me to get past the first day, let alone the first week, and then go into a second week and then the full 30 days of that. But as you do it, as your body is cleansing, getting rid of any parasites it might be holding on to, as your body is just getting rid of all of this waste, you get used to it. You never like it necessarily. It doesn't taste good ever, okay? But eventually you get used to it, you could tolerate it enough. So That's one detox that I do twice a year last year, and this year is going to be twice again. But the other 2 times I'm adding on, which is going to be quarterly, right? So 4 times this year is where I am eating raw fruits and vegetables. And so that's really easy for me because I do a lot of juices and smoothies anyway. And I get a lot of my fruits and vegetables and nutrients that way. I take my vitamins, right? Multivitamin, vitamin D3. And then I also will do like, ginger shots and things like that. Turmeric shots, that's really great for inflammation. And I eat a lot of salads anyway. That you can get really creative with salads. So it's really great for mental clarity. It's really good for, again, restoring good gut health. And it's really good for clearing up your skin, right? Even if you don't have, I don't want to say bad skin, but I know that's how people identify sometimes with it. But like if you have breakouts and blemishes and hyperpigmentation, if you have acne problems, if you have any kind of skin problems, rosacea, any of that, this will help. Because a lot of what people don't realize, that a lot of what causes these different medical conditions that we experience is the inflammation in our body and it sounds gross, but the mucus in our body. So we need to get rid of all of those toxins again, like I said in the beginning, because the longer our body holds on to that, the worse off we are, the worse we feel. And any disease or dis-ease actually starts in the gut. And that's why when you flush out these toxins by doing a detox, it gets rid, you see, it's in the word detox, right? Hence the word detox is that you're flushing out all of these things in your body that aren't good for you, right? So I would say, I know it could be a little bit challenging if you're somebody who is a meat eater, right? You're a carnivore. But I would say even if you're not fully following like a plant-based diet, or you're not a vegetarian or vegan, that's okay. Maybe you're a pescatarian or maybe you're a meat eater. In either case, can you eat those foods in moderation, right? Can you get rid of some of the foods that are not as healthy for you? For example, a lot of these, refined sugars, all the white starches that are not healthy for you. They're good starches and they're not so good starches, right? Good and bad starches. You want to focus on eating the good starches, and that's your green leafy vegetables. And so, but if you are eating foods that are filled with fat, refined sugars, a lot of potatoes, potato chips, rice. Oh, these hummingbirds are so cute. I wish you guys could see them. I love hummingbirds. Aw, they're so cute. But yeah, bread, all of these foods, crackers, cookies, all the, do you notice when you go to the grocery store, the supermarket, and you walk down any like main aisle, a lot of what you'll find are foods that are they're processed foods. They're foods that, are filled with sugars and sodium. Right? Your condiments, for example, filled with sodium and sugars. Your salad dressings, your ketchup, your mayo, your mustard, your relish, all the things that, we grew up on and love. But those things are not good for you. The bread aisles, like you can find a healthy bread if you're into bread, at least if you're going to eat the bread. Eat it in moderation and eat the healthiest version you can find. Something that has, a lot of grains in there, something that is truly filled with wheat and barley and rye and that sort of thing, as opposed to flour and sugars and, that sort of thing. You want to make sure that you take the time to read labels, because if you don't know what you're consuming, then no wonder you're feeling really bad, right? No wonder you're feeling sluggish and heavy and less energetic, lethargic. And, it takes a lot from you to eat these kinds of foods. And so this drink, for example, has, let me see if I can remember, kale, spinach, ginger. I do have a ginger shot with lemon as well, but it also has that in here. Does it have an apple? No, it doesn't have an apple. Let me think. It has parsley, cucumber, and there's one other thing. And each of those things do something different for the body, right? And so these are the kinds of foods you want to focus on on consuming. Now, there's nothing wrong with indulging in the fun foods, right? But if you're constantly eating foods that are, frozen pizzas, if you're consistently going through fast food drive-throughs, if you're getting anything handed to you in a greasy paper bag, if you are, eating burgers and pizzas and tacos and burritos and, donuts and cookies and sundaes and milkshakes and all of that crap, it is crap. It is junk you are filling your body with. And it is harming you whether you know it or not, in a lot of different ways. So you just want to be mindful of what you consume. And it is really good that if you eat that way, even in moderation, you should make your best attempt, okay? Because I don't want to make this an easy excuse for you not to. But definitely do a detox, even if you try it out for 10 days, 14 days, 21 days. Just gradually, just add it, like I was going to do it 14 days initially. I decided to go all in. It is not going to be easy at first, right? Because you've got to it's an adjustment period that you go through. It's kind of shocking to the system at first, but you'll feel so much better, so much more relieved, so much more energized. You'll feel lighter. You won't know where the energy came from because you won't realize it's from you detoxing, flushing out all that crap from your system. And then when you start to reintroduce some foods, you want to do it slowly, right? So when I was on the detox, the only thing I really cooked were like the soups I made. Lots of vegetable soups, lots of brothy soups, tomato soups, that sort of thing. And then I also had a lot of salads, different kinds of salads with and without, lettuce, but I like to add in that green leafy vegetables, right? I like arugula, different romaine lettuce, all the good lettuce. Iceberg is not a good lettuce. It doesn't have any nutritional value, just so you know. But the green leafy vegetables is what you want to go after. And you want to add things like beets and chickpeas and hemp seeds and red onions or purple onions. I don't know why they call them red. It says purple as my shirt almost, and they call it red onions. But anyways, I digress. Purple onions, red onions, whatever you want to call it. And so, and just add, artichokes and tomatoes and cucumbers, add a lot of color. If you notice, bell peppers, like the mini sweet bell peppers, the different, not the ones that are just green. I'm talking about the little, you can get the large ones or the small ones, but they're kind of a sweet, naturally sweet flavor. They taste really good alone. They taste great raw. And if you just add all of these things in the salad, you're going to get the most of the nutrients that these different vegetables have. And then of course your fruits, right? If you're going to have any sugar, I would say try not to eat the fruits that are high in sugar. It's still a natural fruit, still a natural sugar, right? However, there are some fruits that are more sugary, higher in fruit, or higher in sugar than other fruits. So, apples are great, watermelon, natural hydrating fruits, kiwi, strawberries, any kind of berries, blackberries, blueberries, like all the berries, raspberries. The darker the berry, the better, okay? So, these are just some quick tips to help you, and something to consider for you to do. Like I said, if you're not used to doing this on a frequent and routine basis, that's okay. At least start somewhere, right? You don't have to really be overly concerned like, well, I don't know how, this is not something you got to worry about. It's going to be a heavy lift for you. It's not going to be a big chore. Oh, I'm going to have to start reading labels now. No, you just go get the things that don't have a lot of ingredients that you can't understand when you read the labels, right? So when you think about, well, what kinds of foods should I really eat? I've got to think long and hard about it. What am I going to do? I got to make a whole new grocery list. It's going to be expensive. No. It won't be any more. Listen, what's expensive is what you're putting in your body already. All of that junk food you're putting in your body that's high in sodium and high in sugar, those are the things that are killing you. Those are the things that really, that is why we are an obese nation, okay? That is why there is an obesity epidemic. That is why cardiovascular disease is high, right? That is why diabetes is high, especially on the southeast. That's like the diabetes belt on the southeast area region. Anyways, I'm not going to go there. I won't tell you what he did. Anyways, okay. So people are so funny, so strange. It's just, people crack me up. Just, anywho, ha. So make sure that, so don't take it to, don't, like read the labels, get familiar with them, know what you're looking for, start to, do some research, educate yourself, read books about it, listen to podcasts on health, right? And wellness and what you can do and what kind of foods you can incorporate that are healthy food choices, heart healthy food choices. But if you are eating these other foods, I mean, it's just packing on the pounds. You know what I'm saying? It's making you look older. It makes us age faster. It doesn't allow us to get good sleep. It doesn't nurture our bodies and our brains. So you really do want to consider what it is you're putting in your body, because what you put in your body does matter. And that's really the biggest takeaway message, if you will, that I want you to have today, is to know that it is really entirely up to you. It really starts with you just changing your mindset, making a different choice, deciding, today is the day, and then just get into action and do it. It really is that simple. It is not easy necessarily. Sometimes things are easier said than done. I understand that. But it is as hard as you make it too. Okay? So let's see if we have any questions right now. Hey, hi, hello to everyone who showed up. Somebody says, Wisconsin, good to hear about that. Ain't black walnut good for acne? There are a lot of natural remedies for acne. If you want to go the naturalistic way and take a holistic approach, which I highly recommend. But there are a lot of things out there. I'm sure you'll read on the internet. Everybody goes to Dr. Google and YouTube University, and that's fine. But I think that you should go to credible resources and do your research just to be sure. Don't go reading just all kinds of blogs and things that people tried and did to see if it's going to work for you. I would talk to a medical profession first if you have a real serious condition. And even though I'm a nurse, I don't know your medical history and background. You're not my patient, right? And so I don't want to advise. That's a disclaimer I always like to make. So just make sure before you do anything that you don't have any allergies, right? That it's not going to be more harmful than helpful to you. You don't want to do anything that's going to be detrimental to your health. If you're going to try something like that, I always recommend trying it on a small patch of your skin in an area that's not so obvious that people would see. But again, make sure you understand if you have any sort of allergies or that type of thing before you do. Even do it on a less sensitive part of your skin, like for example, right here in the wrist area. Also, the best thing you can do for yourself is move your body more, right, and consume less calories. But then when you do put foods in your body, and whatever you do consume, whether you eat it or drink it, as in this case, I'm drinking my nutrients, right? I'm drinking my foods right now, and then I'm going to go have a nice salad for dinner and a small bowl of soup. So if you're going to do that, if you're thinking about, well, what can I do to clear my skin, to hydrate myself, to look better, feel better, sleep better, have more energy and refuel myself naturally and, in the most natural way, the best thing you can do for yourself is decide what you're going to put in your mouth. What kinds of foods are you digesting? Because if you're eating meat, I hate to put it to you this way, but that meat in your body, it takes a long time to get through the digestive tract, okay? And it will just sit there and rot and for weeks at a time. And you'd be surprised, like even if you're eating fish and, seafood and whatnot, especially if you're eating like sushi, any kind of raw fish or undercooked foods, right? Those things come with parasites. And you've got to understand too, there's a lot of these foods that are pumped with antibiotics and hormones that are not good for you. The FDA will clear a whole, cow to be chopped up and, by the butchers and the slaughterhouses and, packaged up and put in the stores for your consumption, even if they have cancers. Okay. And if you are eating the cancers of a cow or a pig or whatever other kind of animal, goats and whatever else kind of meat you eat, you're also, how they say you are what you eat? There is a lot to be said about that. It's completely true. You are what you eat. So if you're eating animals that are being passed by the FDA, that they say, you know what, that yes, these animals are pumped with all of these hormones and antibiotics, and yes, we spray pesticides on these foods. Even if you wash them off on the outside, it's the inside that you've got to be concerned about. So when you do, even if you're eating fruits and vegetables, right, you want to make sure that you're washing that off. I wash everything in soap and water. I give it a good scrub and a rinse, and I get organic foods. That's a funny sounding crow. I get organic foods, right, that's imported. I go to Whole Food stores, right, Sprouts, Roots, definitely Traders. That's my store for sure. And you'd be surprised, especially if you go to a store like Trader Joe's. You would think because they're a specialty store that you would spend a lot more money than you would at a regular grocery store or supermarket, and it's just not true. I actually spend a lot less on healthier imported foods that are heart healthy, better choices than I do when I go to the regular stores. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to do some comparison shopping. Make sure you're getting familiar with the labels. Make sure you know what you're putting in your body. Indulge in the foods that are fun to you and that you want to enjoy from time to time, but I say do it in moderation, and just educate yourself is the biggest thing, right? Make sure you're educating yourself on any and everything, because again, health is your wealth, right? And we're talking about the correlation between health and wealth. We're talking about detoxing and detoxing these toxins from your body, right? So that's pretty much all I've got today. If this was valuable to you, be sure to share it out to others who are in your circle, people you care about, okay? People that you want to, especially if you know somebody who has hypertension, high blood pressure, any kind of cardiovascular disease, anybody who has COPD, anybody who eats unhealthy, right? Anybody who has diabetes, anybody who's obese or overweight. Make sure you're sharing these kinds of messages out, because the more people who hopefully the more we can educate people, the better choices they make. That's the whole point of why I'm doing this video, because we've got to address the whole person, and I'm about addressing, the whole person and taking a holistic approach in my teaching methodology. So I'm not going to just share with you how to make more money, which is, I talk a lot about, multiple income streams on this channel. I talk a lot about, building a business online. I talk a lot about leaving a corporate toxic job, but I can't just address those items without addressing other areas of your life that are being impacted in a negative way. And this for sure is one of the ways in which you might be negatively impacted if you are eating unhealthy. Okay, so make sure that you start to take heed to what I'm saying, and you're paying attention to what you're putting in your body, and you start to do your research. The best websites, for example, first of all, the library is your friend. Okay, those still exist. They're free. Use your local librarian to help you. Go to a library and read some books. Start doing some Google searches. Go online. Past the blogs and past some of these other resources, and make sure you're looking at anything that has like a .org, a .edu, a .gov. Those are going to be the most credible sources, like the WHO, WHO, okay, World Health Organization, CDC, right? These are going to be the kinds of schools, that are teaching schools, those sort of places. You want to look for those kind of articles, and those people are well positioned and well educated. They've done a lot of research. They have the stats. They know what they're talking about. This is what they do all day, every day. They specialize in teaching in these areas of health, right? So you want to make sure that those are the sources that you're relying on, more so than just reading some random blog that somebody wrote based on their experience or something they heard or read. Okay, you want somebody who actually has the expertise or lived experience, or both. Okay, so I hope this has been valuable to you. Make sure you check out other content that I do. Be sure to subscribe if you want to not miss any of my live streams. I'm going to be live streaming for the next 90 days, and we'll see how that goes. But I think that's pretty much all I wanted to share. And if I have anything else for you, I'll be sure to pin it in the comments so you can find it easily, okay? Leave me some comments right now, or when you catch this on a replay, let me know what's been most helpful for you. What did you learn today from my video? I know I talked through this fast. I wanted to make sure that it's more like a daily dose instead of a lengthy video, okay? But it turned out to be a little bit longer than I anticipated, just because somebody had a question. I wanted to make sure I read through the questions, and some other things came to mind, and I didn't want to leave you without that information. So I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to watch the next video that YouTube recommends, either here to catch on my other live streams and or replays or other content on my channel, and share this video out. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. God bless. And today is another beautiful, brand new and blessed day. Don't forget it. Keep counting your blessings, okay? And we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.